Your old plastic driver's license could soon be getting a digital upgrade. Digital reporter Tim McPhillips walks us through 3 things you should know, including some of the benefits and some of the concerns.
1. What's a mobile driver's license?
Is essentially what it sounds like, which is taking your driver's license and making it a digital credential that you can carry on your smartphone, your watch, your tablet.
That's Ian Grossman, President and CEO of the American Association of Motor Vehicle Administrators. They're a trade organization that provides DMVs with best practice guidance as well as software and tech infrastructure. 20 states and Puerto Rico offer a form of a digital driver's license. Some allow you to add it directly to your mobile wallet, like your credit card. Others have a state-created mobile app that stores your ID. 2. What are the benefits? Well, the idea is when you need to show your ID, you could essentially tap your phone on a reader, like at an airport or a doctor's office, or while getting a speeding ticket.
You would never hand over your phone.
And that could help to limit the information you share. Take, for example, a liquor store.
They don't need to know your name. They don't need to know your address.
And if, like me, you've lost your wallet and or left it in a TSA bin, it's more difficult for someone to get into your phone than it is to just pick up your plastic ID.
What you have time to do is get to any browser anywhere, log into your online DMV account and say, I've lost that device, pull that credential off of that phone.
But there are concerns around this new technology to prove who we are. And that brings us to 3, government data collection. Here's American Civil Liberties Union senior policy analyst Jay Stanley.
One problem is that the standard for digital ID that a lot of the states, although not all of them, are adopting would actually let the government track you.
So what does that mean? Well, when you tap your mobile ID on a reader, information about you is sent from point A to point B. That simple transaction involves major decisions, like does verification happen locally on your phone or on a server? And could a third entity, like a state or federal government, access data on where you used your ID? Stanley and the ACLU have rallied against that last scenario, called phone home or server retrieval, over potential abuses. For AMVA's part, Grossman says states that might allow server retrieval would be blocked from using AMVA's digital ID systems.
We have prohibited the ability to, what we would say, call back to the agency.
All this is pressuring states not to build systems that phone home. But because it is possible to do with the technology and laws in place today, the responsibility falls on our elected officials not to flip the switch. But
we have seen a couple states that have put in place some very good protections in their laws.
In March, Utah put in place the nation's first digital identity bill of rights that bans phone home architecture. Stanley agrees that states need to be proactive in codifying a phone home ban into law.
The states are sleepwalking into building a version that's not privacy protective, and we're going to get stuck with it as a standard for potentially generations.
As of now, some state governments on both sides of the aisle have allowed mobile driver's licenses, but others have rejected them, like Texas and Minnesota. But Grossman says widespread adoption is coming.
But nobody is forcing anybody to do it.
And Stanley argues that too should be codified in law.
You should have a right to continue to use your plastic license.
His fear?
But it has a real potential that we're going to wake up one day, we're all going to be forced to get these things, and they're going to become like a virtual ankle bracelet.
For PBS News, I'm Tim McPhillips.
And you can find more on this online, including live election results from state primaries later this evening.